So, Jordan, would you like to explain what happened? Yes, I would. It's gonna be... So the reason this stream is late is going to be similar to the reason why I will not be doing a stream 24 hours-ish from now, and also the same reason why the... What do I want to say? The event of the day that came out recently was late. I can't say what that reason is, but just know that a lot of things are happening. It's partly real life stuff and partly also busy stuff. So let's just take care of this now, and I will move on. So yeah, one Zectast run. This is going to be a normal length stream, so this would go past about the 2-hour mark as I get into World of Horror. I need to do a thing because I forgot. Because I don't know why I didn't do this, but yeah, let's get into it. So without further ado, tomorrow would have been a Harbinger horror stream, I'm pretty sure, but I had to make sure that things happened. The stream was late because of reasons. Same reasons why there's likely not going to be a stream tomorrow. I have to take care of certain things, and event of the day was late, if you noticed, about 8 hours ago because of the same reason. So, yeah, here we are. So, let's just concentrate on the character as we have Light, Dexterity, Takushi-san, Second, Strength, and maybe Charisma. But we start with the Fire Axe and a Police Revolver. It can be okay. I didn't check any of the perks. These characters came not hot off Discord, but I pulled them right from Discord immediately, so if there's anything wrong, like if the game crashes, then just know that I swear I have everything installed in the right place. But with this character, or with any character that has a weapon, you pretty much run a legal den. There's no reason to run a hardware store, aside from, yes, if you really want Monkey Wrench, which I could do, or if you want to do a chainsaw play, there's always a reason to set something or do something else in World of Horror than what I'm saying. But for consistency's sake, I think that this is the one. Also, this character does come from somewhere, so it's not I don't think it's a completely original character. Bulletin, Scissors, Teacher, Ramen, Akamanto. But we'll take Scissors now, if for no other reason than to learn the Ghost Ritual if we're on Timeline B. Otherwise, if we're on Timeline A, the Scissor Lady is going to have a bad time. I could also grab the Scissors here, but we have Fishing Triangle, and I have a weapon already. Fire Axe has actually gone down as a good weapon because of alternative options. But if you start with the Fire Axe, I mean, it's just as good. And the stat spread here isn't bad. Preemptively, before Zectast, we will be doing a thing. Also, I guess I should let you know, because this is partly the reason why I am late for the stream. I will be, I will be revisiting games that I've played in the past on this channel. However, one of the first games is going to be a game that's only for people who are at least of the age for, not explicit material, but pretty much, or the age of 18, but whatever number is higher, you need to be of that age. Basically, it's going to be restricted, so even if I were monetized on this channel, I am not going to monetize. These videos are not going to be monetized. However, I will be treating them the videos respectively, so I will be editing out. It'll be a recording. I can't stream this game because of how spooky it can be. I can probably do so and censor everything. Also, just to kind of, oh my goodness, am I going to die here, by the way? To let you know, yes, I'm coming, hold on. To let you know, this, I was going to say it, the Scissor Lady really interrupted my thoughts. We should still be okay here, because I can do this, and I think I can immediately do a, no, I cannot. So, let's throw the Police Revolver just to be safe. I think I can even just brace kick, can I? Yeah, I can. So, I should be able to just brace guarantee kick. I'll remember what I was going to say, but it's I guess you can, it's definitely supposed to be a horror game. The reason why this was also relevant is because I am going to be playing technically it's a sequel, but it's also a spin-off. If you've seen me play it before, I wanted, like, let's start from the beginning. I want to do some of these games I've done again. One, because I've kind of not updated my setup, but I have another setup where I can play them properly without the video looking weird, or streams looking weird if I stream games. Like We'll just say them outright because I might get to them. Frostpunk. I don't know if I'm going to do Stellaris again. Cthulhu Mythos. That's one I can stream and or record. But the game that I'm going to play, I can't even say it because of things. Okay, what I was going to say is this game can't even be streamed. I'm pretty sure it can't be streamed on the other platform, but it can be streamed here because the terms allow me to do so, and I can, again, I'll do it respectively. We won't be showing any explicit parts, obviously, and you have to be of age, but that should be mostly fine because, one, I'm going to be editing, it's going to be recording, so I have full control over censoring things that I don't want in the video, because I want to go over this, game intellectually, technically, gameplay-wise, and from a writing standpoint, because it does a lot of things really well. Well, it just happens to be a game with explicit elements in it, so that's why it is harder to play the game if you are trying to control things. And other people have already played the game here on this platform, so I mean, yeah. But to answer the question again, just to make sure that I've answered the question, it is a horror game. It technically has jump scares, but actually not as much as you think. It's more an atmospheric type, but there are a few jump scares, I think. I will let you know if I do a recording. That's something I should make a note of, but if I don't, just know that it is. So if that turns you away, then I can't really say anything. But yeah. Actually, funny enough, aside from, obviously, the other game that is also, I think, I think I've age restricted on this channel. If I haven't, then yeah, funny enough, I think I've played a few games that cannot be streamed on the other platform, but you can do it on this platform, which is really, really weird. So yeah, if that's the case, so be it. I just want to get back to games, but right after that game, I'll probably hit other ones. Yeah, and I think Cthulhu Mythos also has jump scares in it. So just letting you know, Cthulhu Mythos and the game I'm going to be making videos of, I don't know if it's going to be soon, but it will be at a certain point soon in the future first, before any other game. And then I will be, I think I'll be doing Path of the Midnight Suns right after. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if I'm going to do it for sure. Ooh, cool. Flesh regrowth. But hey. So, yeah, if that's the case, then just to be safe, you shouldn't watch this series, even though it doesn't really have that many jump scares. I don't think... Does it even have a single jump scare? I'm trying to think. I know Cthulhu Mythos... Cthulhu Mythos actually has a series out, but the only one of them is completely translated. So we can talk about it. So if you're interested, I won't spoil anything for anyone who doesn't know and is going to watch this, even though it's available on my channel right now. Both of those are every game I'm about to do this year is on the channel. Also, this is for the police revolver, but obviously we're using the fire axe and we're gonna build strength. But yeah, every game I've done on this channel, I'm trying to think. I don't know if they have a jump scare, but again, just to be safe, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Otherwise, I'll try to... Yeah, no, just to be safe, don't, because you know how I am. I often forget things, so if I forget to warn you or something, then I'll do it. After the fact, maybe if I find out there aren't any, then I'll let you know, but otherwise, yeah, for the moment. For anyone else, though, just know that I'm basically going to be going through the games that I've gone through before, also because I can play them a different way, so it's not like I'm doing a rehash, because the one I'm going to play definitely, I think, is a very good game. It just, for better or worse, has explicit elements in it. I also forgot to grab the handcuffs here, but I think I should be fine. So, yeah, and World of War, I mean, technically, if you want to say, it does have a jump scare, but you can turn off this jump scare. If you don't know, you don't know, but there is a setting to remove a jump scare, so... Yeah. Also, oh my goodness. Yeah, obviously FNAF is full of jump scares. So, again, the game I'm going to be recording doesn't really have a jump scare. It just straight up doesn't. If it does, there's only like a few total. There's not really anything. Again, it's more the atmosphere. And I think that's the kind of horror I normally, well, me and a lot of, or the people I know around me respect the most. We like horror games that, as I put a censor up, that scare you by atmosphere rather than jump scares. That's because it's kind of not... Because jump scares can be a good thing in horror games. And in fact, they're very popular, even though I don't agree with the type of horror that they are. Jump scares are not without their use. That being said, again, I think it's because a lot of horror games that aren't as good attempt to go for jump scares as their main source of, as their main, not a drawing point, but to define them as the only way of horror. And FNAF thankfully doesn't do that, even though it's chock full of jump scares. Let me explain what I mean by that. So, FNAF, while it might look like another cheap horror jump scare game, it actually sets up the atmosphere quite well for it. Because of you sitting in a room dark at night, which is a very I don't want to say common fear, but that's the closest phrase I can use. But it's definitely not a cheap horror jump scare experience, because it sets up the atmosphere, because it has a it sets up not the lore, but the plot in enough of a mysterious way where the viewer is, I guess, immersed enough is a closer way to explain it, but it doesn't fully explain it. Again, it comes off to have a thing for jump scares, whether that's positive or negative. It definitely can provide that factor. Again, I'm not saying every horror game needs to lack jump scares, but I guess it's a stigma that if you have a lot of jump scares, or mainly jump scares in your game, that can tend to be a very bad thing. Now, personally, obviously, as I just said, I don't look very... I'm looking more for atmospheric horror than jump scare horror, so that's a thing. And that's why I like the horror games that I like. Now, that being said, I'll also readily admit that I get jump scared not quite easily, but a jump scares can... I have the average amount of tolerance for jump scares, so there's that. Also, I should be resting here. I know I have flesh regrowth, but I would like to not do anything. Yeah, so no, and I understand your point too. Yeah. It's not saying like certain things are bad if they have jump scares, but if you can't handle them, you can't handle them. That's a person-by-person basis, and I respect things like that a lot more, because obviously some people are just, I don't want to say biologically, but you just, it's a trait that you have as not a human being, but as you, that some people may have, that it just, jump scares just, and it might be something deep, like not the nature of a jump scare just does something to you, just like I have. Again, I've explained it before, I have hemophobia, so if I go try to get a blood withdrawal, if I get an injury, I immediately have a very... It triggers a response in me of lightheadedness, and yeah, I immediately start... What is it? What's it called? Not sparkles, but my vision starts to fog up and can lead to... And that's a symptom that can lead directly to fainting, so that's not great. But yeah, to rewind back to what I was mentioning before, it is... I'm pretty sure it doesn't really have a jump scare in it. In fact, the Japanese version of a Cthulhu Mythos game I played, even though I didn't play it for long, had more jump scares than I think the Cthulhu Mythos game I actually did a full double playthrough, 2 playthroughs in, and the other game that I did 3 playthroughs in-ish, 2.5 really. It has more than those 2 combined, I want to say. And again, if they do have it, it's very, very few moments, so I should be able to pick them out. If I really remember so, because I actually don't remember if they have any. But it's also been a long time since I played either of those, so... Also, it would be nice to get this Fire Axe play in, but again, if you want to be completely safe, just avoid those videos that are going to be coming out altogether, or the stream of Cthulhu Mythos RPG, because I won't be able to remember in the moment, especially if I'm streaming, so... Yeah, and that's the thing too, usually I go through videos before I upload them anyway, so... Yeah, it will probably be as chapters and or timestamps on top of a jump scare warning. But obviously it would help to put as many avenues of warnings as possible, so I should try to speak out loud and say, although I can do it in post-edit if I'm just going to be editing this one, so hey. Also, it's a testament to how good this character is and or can be if I can just pretty much autopilot through a run on Harbinger because of the fire axe. That's literally... Again, if I can just breeze through while talking about anything I want to talk about as a character, yeah, your character is pretty strong. So, this is obviously just an At the World of Horror run, but I've had harder runs at the World of Horror runs before. Now, running into the Glitch Magician isn't as great, but we'll go for it. 12 damage, by the way, is pretty good. Yeah, 5 actions, we should be good. Now, if I wanted to be safe, I should just do something like this. Yeah. That's guaranteed, and that way we only lose 6 Doom overall, but at least we get out of this encounter, because I didn't try, but I'm pretty sure you can't run from that encounter. But we're on Akamanto. We're on an Akamanto run, so hey. Well, you know what? It's... Listen, we gotta start somewhere. If one person, and this is something I believe in too, do I want to brace for this? Yeah, I do. So if one person is affected, then at least a few other people. I know that realistically speaking, not that many people are affected. Again, just as there are a lot of people who do like jump scare games here and there, but at the same time, I also believe in not the exact opposite, but if one person is affected, as I forget that I'm getting my HP drained here. If one person is affected, there's at least a few others that are affected. But that being said, that's not something I want to completely cater to, but it's something I'll think about going forward. So it's nice that you did remind me, because that way I can... It's not going to really affect the experience if I try to do something like that. Also, yeah, I just lost stamina and reason. Oh well, I can at least rest a few times anyway. Before roads closed as well. Yeah, because if it's not even, especially if it's a small minority, or not a small minority, but if it's a minority that's barely below the majority, there's not really I forgot to almost investigate the forest. There's not really a reason to not do it. But even if that's the case, I am still trying to think of other people. And yeah, I could say something else. I don't think it's going to be accurate, so I'm not going to say so. But regardless, as we fight this new... I could just run away here. I probably should just run away here. 90... Well, actually, this is guaranteed, isn't it? This is guaranteed. I don't know what I'm going to do after this is guaranteed, but we'll find out. I get an extra point of damage, so you know what? This should be a... Yeah, that should be a 2-turn. But yeah, we'll see when I do the video, because there will be... Yeah, I'll try to keep watch of that. Again, I'm not gonna, as you request, I'm not gonna try to go out of my complete way, but obviously I really should. There's not really a good reason for me to. If I have control over it is, I guess, the more accurate thing to say. Basically, being considerate is a good trait. Now, there's always an opposite version. What would be the opposite version of being considerate? It's not paranoid, but anywho. So now we can proc Drenched, and now we can move on. But yeah, just letting people know. It is part of the reason why I was late, which is why we're talking about... Which is why I branched off. I was talking about a game I'm going to be recording. I don't know if it's going to happen this week or later, but the sequel / spin-off question mark is going to happen in due time. By the way, I do want a thing, just to be safe, so I'm actually going to grab this curse as well, while I'm grabbing a pack of cigarettes. I'm going to take another risk, but right after this I should be able to smoke cigarettes just fine. We have strength, so I should definitely pass that, but then we can smoke cigarettes and become super powerful. Another YouTuber putting a warning for World of Horror. About the subject of World of Horror, I can disturb signals, kind of... Yeah, so that's the thing, and certain things obviously can... We've talked about it, I think, in the last stream, but the eye poke in eels is one of the standout examples of this. I can prep attack, among other things. I think for me, the most standout one now that as someone who's played the game a lot, is the is the true boss of nails. But I don't know. I just think, not that I have that phobia, but I immediately recognize it for being, you know, a trigger of phobia. By the way, I would like to hit this 85%. Okay, good. And among other things, I'm pretty sure if I see something in World of Horror and I forgot about it, and I'll remember it in the moment. But as of right now, the one that comes to my mind immediately is the true boss of nails. So I didn't see any other perks for better or worse, but I think we should be fine. If this character actually only has one perk pack, that could be a balancing factor, but again, the Fire Axe already provides a lot on its own. I could also grab more bullets here, but I don't need them, because for better or worse, the police revolver is not a great weapon. It's, to me anyway. Now, if you had to use it, if you have like 15 perception, there's always going to be a situation where you can use pretty much almost every weapon, if not every weapon. I mean, theoretically speaking, there is a way that every weapon becomes useful, and that is if you have like 30 in the stat that weapon belongs to, but obviously that's not a very normal character, unless you're making a Hanma character, or you are making God, then some kind of God, then yeah. Light, dexterity, just to remind myself, strength, which we have, charisma, which we also happen to have. I should be able to just boldly walk up this staircase. But yeah, anywho, I don't know why those characters came to me at the top of my head. Obviously, a god of some sort would be obvious, but you know, moving on. But yeah, that video should be coming out, I think, right after that is... Because Path of the Midnight Sun, and I'm not sponsored by the developer or anything, but Path of the Midnight Sun is getting a... Not a content update, but it is getting a quality update, and I think it does add some content. And I didn't really do it justice, even though it was the... I mean, I was the Midnight Suns doing those streams into videos, because I eventually just turned it into videos. That was me trying to test out what would happen if I played a more visual novel type game. Now, obviously, as RPG/strategy type elements, if you go and watch, even just go watch 30 seconds of those, or 10 seconds of gameplay, quote unquote gameplay, and the visual novel aspect, and you'll see what I mean. But it was me trying to test out, not voice acting, but you get what I mean, that style of video, which I could still do. But I mainly look at things both back then and kind of now analytically. So if they didn't have a lot of viewers, I mean, I did want to still support the game and play it. That's why I played it to its entirety. But it was also, the other reason right under that was to see how well it did. And I didn't think it did badly, because I did it right when it came out. So there was that as well. And as I go into my Ezek task run, that's why I want to do that video soon, but we'll see, because I'm also obviously held up with my own things. So as we said, we'll set item stats to random for giggles. But we'll get into the Zach Task run, and yeah, if you have any questions, let me know as we get into Zach Task. 7th character exclusive random item, custom character. Yeah, and I don't think weapons you start with are randomized ? So. Nonetheless, we're still going to start with the Fire Axe in hand. And we'll see Light Takshisan, second encounter, strength, charisma, and maybe second mystery. Again, if I were to kind of focus for a moment, Zektast, I think I've just really gotten into rushing Zektast and hoping for RNG for weapons. Obviously, I still set... For characters that do not start with the weapon immediately, I still set hardware store, but I do look for scissors, vigil, some kind of mystery where you can get a weapon for free, because saving as much doom as possible, especially for a character that has a lot of ZST to make up for, is quite important for managing doom. And if nothing else, obviously Zektast does not cause doom to increase, but the main issue is that theoretically, yes, you do lose stats to... Oh my goodness, I want to take Vigil, but we have Warden Flood as well. Hold on. I just stun-locked myself. We did start on 7th Curse, so I can grab a weapon or a Hospital Pass immediately. And I can take Vigil later. Because I start with a weapon, I can take it. I'm not as much as a conundrum as it seems. So you know what? We're gonna take Coma immediately because of the hospital is max threat level, as it is now. I can immediately police station and get value out of this. But more importantly, we can grab the hospital pass immediately as well. And then we can immediately move on, because I don't want to spend too much Doom. Zectast is also a race against Doom. Quite literally, again, if you have stats at 4 or below that you cannot make up for with level ups. Level ups, sorry. Again, you have actually more than a few ways to mitigate it. Some of them dependent on the character, some of them otherwise, as we have... Okay, we do have 3 luck, but... Luck, thankfully, cannot be 0-statted into a game over, so we're fine there. But one indirect way to deal with Zectast is if you have mysteries or a combination of mysteries that allow you to get a lot of experience, then you can get a lot of experience and level up as much and as quickly as possible and not die to 0-statting, if 0-statting is an issue. This character doesn't really have that much of an issue because all I need to pay attention is dexterity and knowledge. But I think the Zectast is also an old god of extremes, because if you do very well on Zectast, you do very for Zectast runs. Whereas if you have a hard time with Zectast, mainly with making up ZST, and by that I mean Zectast stats, meaning stats you need to increase, or else you will 0-stat at 84% Doom or below, then you will have a very bad time. And the reason I say that is, another reason for that is that characters who don't have a lot of ZST, so this character has 2 ZST, right after I make up for those, I can immediately start putting points into stats that I like after that. Whereas characters who I need to keep making up ZST, if they have, like, say, 8 perception, but they have the old shotgun or a sport rifle to start, or a hunting rifle to start, they're gonna suffer under that. Those are very bad examples because a hunting rifle and sport rifle are very slow weapons because they're just slow weapons, but you get what I mean. If you have to make up stats that you don't want to build in, and you're not building in the stat you actually want to build in, then you're gonna keep suffering. Whereas a character that only has 1 or 2 ZST to make up for just needs to put those 2 points in, and then you can just, for me, build strength. So, yeah. Now that being said, the backstory can help out as well. If you start out with 7th Curse, if you're a character that doesn't start off with a weapon, but you get 7th Curse, you start out in a lot better of a place, because you don't need to prepare for funds or tree for funds and risk curses and doom while you're doing all this stuff. Now that being said, running into Miku here is not good RNG, but we'll take it. It's the best we can do. So we'll go for the Brace Fire Axe. And if we hit 2 in a row, then we only lose -2 all. Now, I don't think I drank the bottle of water, but that's how laid back I am going through this. So let's store this police revolver for now, because I need to give this package over. I also need to pay attention, because I wasn't paying attention to throwing the police revolver or anything I had to get things done faster. Let's actually do reason here. I should have also sold something, because that's an illicit/law type item, question mark? But yeah. Here we will trade Doom, and we're gonna get 1 statted, so we're no longer able, right now, to brace into Fire Axe, but maybe we don't need to? We'll see. I should have checked my storage as well, because I need to grab the police revolver, but meh. And let's grab basically an item to throw. So, we have... I can't two-turn this. Can I make this any faster is the real question. The answer is probably yes. And indeed, I cannot get a brace attack in. 80% win rate in True Believer, 0% on Harbinger. Yeah, Harbinger is still a step up. So I would not. It's not unbelievable to see that. Now, unfortunately, I think I'm bare. Oh, if I throw the empty bottle, yeah, you know what? I think it's actually worth it. So Please tell me I handcuffed this correctly. Okay, good. And we'll finally level up for Flood. Doomed Already is a good one. And now... Well, although I do need to take Quick Thinking instead. No, I'm going to take Doomed Already. Who am I kidding? We have Knowledge and Dexterity, but Doomed Already is just so good that I can't... I need to take it. And I have a lot of Doom to work with. Again, because we don't have a lot of... If my Dexterity were at like 2 or my Knowledge were at 2, then I would go for it. But because we don't have to make up that much ZST, thankfully I don't have to suffer as much. One run was your bad. Scissor Lady raised Scissor, didn't see you stay. Yeah, so... Yeah, not bracing for the Scissor Lady attack is... that immediately... for players who are new to World of Horror as well... immediately teaches you that, hey, you need to watch out. But obviously, I mean, the game isn't going to be completely handholdy, but when I think about it, there are more than a few games that are not that handholdy that people criticize World of Horror for, but for some reason, it gets a lot of flack. Also, that's right, that's a Doom. For some reason, I thought that was Knowledge. Even though I don't have a lot of either, but hey. And by handholdy, I mean that there's a very, very big notice that a special attack is coming. I don't think World of Horror needs that, but anywho. I can throw the Funny Mask. I should have actually equipped it, but... We're in pain, so I think I want to go for this. So we're going to go for it. Hopefully I hit the second one. We do get bonus damage. I didn't know that, or I didn't remember that. But anywho. We'll equip the Funny Mask. I can go for a second Researcher, but I'm just going to rest instead. Because I'm just going to rest instead. So away we go, and I think we're going to do something similar. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to do this the whole time. So away I go. Do I have a spell? No, I don't. That's what I was checking for. I had to mute myself because I had to take care of a thing, but... Yeah, I think we just tank this in the face. Now, I should trade at least one... I should meditate at least once, but after that... Yeah, we just continue eating this in the face. Saw it after. There should be something when enemy is doing a special attack, though, like an exclamation near the damage. Yeah. I mean, there can be. I'm just saying, if you were to ask me whether or not that should be implemented, I would say no. Not because of, and I know I've talked about obfuscation before, but yeah, I mean, it can go either way, but if I were asked, I would still say no. That's just what I have to say. So now we take a point in Dexterity. We do take Discipline, just in case we pass. So we have Doomed Already in Discipline, the antitheses of each other. But yeah, I mean, there can be. Again, I'm not going to complain. It's going to make things easier for me in case an enemy does come out. Especially for, I guess, also for custom enemies, that could be a good thing. Because if you run into a custom enemy the first time, if you put in nothing, I mean, yeah, you can still obfuscate it, so never mind. That's weird, because the game already gives you, like, it's not a complete warning, but... Like, Miku grabs a can of fuel, or the Scissor Lady raises... Again, the Scissor Lady is the first enemy most new players run into, whether that's through tutorial or otherwise. So, and then you get a message that says raises scissors. So, on top... And I only say that in defense of this game, because while I don't like obfuscation, there is things like... Again, when pressing Z is not a thing, but... The point-and-click nature of things being hidden, like festivals, little peephole, and other things, already makes it so I understand where the... Not the obfuscation, but the design of that obfuscation comes from, if that makes any sense. So you should be on the lookout for things that may or may not be there. Now, again, to that end, the counter-argument and devil's advocate argument, that does hold some... Not credibility, but you get what I mean as I run from this. That holds some weight is that... Huh. Hold on, let me think. Okay. Yeah, that holds some weight is that... You know, some things are designed in World of Horror, but yet are not functioning correctly, so that makes things a lot more confusing. So an example is before it was implemented, the fact that 8 actions are the exact limit, while that is obfuscated somewhat, it's not exactly a bug, but it's something that the developer could have put in. Other things like, hey, throwing items or using, obvious example is using Mind Drain and Ghostly Spear as Kana, doesn't actually release or lower your max stamina, max reason. That's a bug, but that's what I mean by bugs that are there, but by design they're not supposed to function the way they are. Another thing is possibly, and most likely also, handcuff tech, where you can handcuff an enemy after attacking them, but if you use handcuffs before the sequence ends, you don't get attacked. Things like that. Where, again, and it's obviously not well-known knowledge, but if you think about it and you try it out, either it works or it doesn't, but when it works, obviously you can, I'm pretty sure that's not intended by design, but it's balanced in practice, I guess, is the less than 10-word tagline to a video that I think some people have used before. I swear I've come across at least 2 videos that have this criticism against World of Horror in such a way, and I don't mean criticism negatively. I mean it's a point in reviews or videos that kind of describes World of Horror as a game. And yeah, that's the thing too, because at this point I think World of Horror is in a state where if you try to pull on a string, it affects a lot more other things. Now, I could come again, because I don't know how the game functions in its totality, like, 1, data mining is not allowed. 2, I just don't know the innards of World of Horror as a game, even though I know the engine that it runs in. I can still give some kind of pseudocode. So, a type of pseudocode is probably that, let's just assume that for some reason Kana's max stamina, max reason limit supersedes the implementation that is, say, Eldritch Parasite, where Eldritch Parasite only sets your max stamina and reason to 33 once, but for whatever reason, let's just say Kana keeps checking to see if your max stamina and reason are at 8, rides Eldritch Parasite, or it overrides the subtraction, and that makes sense. When you think about it, that makes sense, because coding is supposed to be usually a logical process. So things like the Demon Mask, once you equip it, it only subtracts the max stamina once, but Kana keeps checking over and over to set your max stamina and reason to 8, and therefore your max stamina and reason stay at 8, even though it's supposed to subtract. And then when you re-equip the Demon Mask, the same thing, where you think, oh, doesn't that mean Kana gets 11 max stamina then? No, because, again, when you unequip, because that was a bug before with the Demon Mask, that's a whole other thing, but for the sake of what we're talking about here, when you unequip the Demon Mask, your max stamina, I guess, increases by 3, which isn't supposed to be the case, I guess, if you're going for perfection in code, but that's what happens, and so you add 3 max stamina back, but it only happens once, and then Kana rechecks it. So how you would do it is that either you have to, if that is how Kana's max stamina reason passive actually works, then Panstaz would have to not redesign the character, but that's a big change you would make to a character that could have effects. Again, it would have the opposite effect, where, it might be the intended effect, but it's not going to work perfectly, especially if you make more changes later on. So if you only do Kana's max, if you treat it like an actual beginning passive, where Kana's max stamina and reason only affect you at the very beginning, well, that does theoretically work in practice, because then, yes, Mind Drain and Ghostly Spear would work. Demon Mask would work. You would also have to make sure, first of all, that Eldritch Parasite, if it's supposed to take priority, that it takes priority. So, in a line of code, okay, you know what? I'm just going to actually pull something up really quick. Let's do some coding right now, because this is actually relevant to what we're doing in front of our face. So, let me pull up, actually, I'll just pull up Notepad, because if I pull up, usually Sublime, I'm working on things, so I don't want you to see those things. But, so quick little break, and I should probably make a note of this. So, unfortunately, I have to make a note of this elsewhere. So, 41-ish. But, so let's put this on screen if possible. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bit blocked, because this is what I normally use for other things, but... oh, it definitely is. Well, hey. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna do a completely different one. This is actually important because it could affect things going on later on. So, oh my goodness, notepad 2, please. I already have a notepad somewhere, but... And let us do a thing here. So, let us say, for the sake of argument, so, oops, not that. I want to go into here. So let's say you start a run. So, run starts. So this is how it would be in pseudocode. If you know, those who don't know what pseudocode means, pseudocode basically means how would a normal person explain what's happening in code? Because what's happening in code is probably something like, hey, call event start run. Not something like this, but you know what I mean. And let's just say this is the end of the thing. I usually like to end my things with that, so... Yeah, don't mind Alcana's Easter egg character, you need 100% of the game anyway, so... But again, the character should still be somewhat balanced, in my opinion, but... let's keep going. So pseudocode run starts. So what happens is... a change in Kana could be Kana... set... max stamina reason... blah. And that would be the... this would be the patch change. Patch? Question mark? But then things like, you'd have to make sure that right after this line, so after this line, make sure Eldritch Parasite backstory applies effects after, else, oh, no, I shouldn't say else, or else Kana bugs can happen. So after that, then you do like, I don't know, roll of horror, blah, Eldritch, set max stamina reason. You get the point, right? When this thing's happen, and let's just say during the run, so during run, right now this is what's happening. During run, this is current Kana. Again, just again to give you an idea and kind of get you into the mind to let you know how complicated these things can or cannot be. This doesn't seem as complicated, but when you actually code it in, I don't know how, again, when you pull one string, other things can happen. So, let's just say, for some reason, every time you... because it happens in real time, so what must be happening is that Kana is setting, or Kana set max stamina reason is like always happening, for some reason, always happening. So what happens is that you... say you equip demon... or no, let's... you cast... Mind Drain. Sorry if this is detracting from the stream, but again, I'm gonna deem it's important. And also, I need to pull this up because you can't see it right now, but cast Mind Drain, so spells, Mind Drain, or cast Mind Drain, but whatever. You know, you get what I mean. Cast Mind Drain, but then for some reason, because Kana set max stamina reason is always happening, right after you cast Mind Drain, so minus max reason, right? But then, at some point while the game is running, you see Kana max stat rate. This is what I assume is happening. Again, I don't know if it's happening for sure, but something to this effect is happening in pseudocode, which is why it's happening. Or maybe there's just some weird rule that negates max stamina reason, but essentially, again, you can kind of understand at this point that if you were to change, say if it is working like that, like set max stamina reason, if you change that in any way, you might actually cause more bugs, which is why something like that would have to be tested a lot before it gets through. So let me just take this off of the screen. Finally. And we can continue moving on. So yeah, and I forgot what caused me to talk about that all in the first place, but just know that that may or may not be happening. Now, is it a very complicated fix? I want to say it could be, but again, that's because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Also, I think we've already made up our stats, so we can now take anything we want, and we can finally move on. So, gameplay resumes at about 46 minutes. But yeah. Yeah, it loops back to setting max stamina reason. Or unless, again, it could be that there's just some weird rule that prevents Kana's max stamina reason from changing, even though, again, you can test this out too, practically. If you equip the Demon Mask, see if max reason changes for like a frame, and then you'll know that something is setting it back. Otherwise, if it's not moving at all, maybe there is some immunity clause that's happening in the code, but yeah. But that being said, again, at this point, because World of Horrors actually come out, that's why it's kind of important to get everything done before release, because now we're in a situation, and I think some people have mentioned it, and the publisher has mentioned it, but I'm not gonna put words in their mouth in case it's not true, where now if World of Horror needs to be patched, for the consoles it's a harder process, because you have to go through basically a quality check, because you can't... The PC version can be patched pretty much at Panstaz's leisure. However, the console versions, because it's available on PlayStation Store, because it's available through the Nintendo Store maybe, or physical copies, being patched on console goes through a whole process. So when you patch something on consoles, you need to make sure that if it's a small thing, you put that through, but you have to wait. Otherwise, there's... Like, again, I haven't gone through it myself, but I understand the process takes time and can be queued. So while it's very... Basically, it doesn't look good if you're trying to push out a patch, but then you want to push out another patch on top of that immediately or at the same time, because that can result in, one, a loss of trust for whoever you're working with, but two, it kind of adds to the workload and causes patch slower, if that makes any sense. Again, this character is quite strong already because they start with a weapon and their stats are not bad. But yeah. Because otherwise it changed the character, yeah. Oh, so yeah. But, and before and after release, again, after release is important because after release is when the console versions are made available. Therefore, if anyone wants to make a change to the base game, you can't do it as easily for consoles as for PC. So yeah, that's why getting everything done immediately is kind of important. But again, at this point, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's not really much else to say because I don't know the exact what's happening behind the scenes, obviously. So we'll see what happens. At the World of Horror character exclusive custom characters. There's more I could say, but until things happen or until someone says anything, we won't have any sources of information. Hello, unlocked all the backstories. Hey, enjoy Commoner. Although I don't think, yeah, Commoner is not one you can get through quickly, right? I think we've established that, but if you want to play through Commoner, that is one of the most painful backstories to play through. Especially without the History Club. Dexterity, Strength, Light, Second Mystery, Knowledge, and maybe every single stat check. But definitely a Light check, definitely a Second Mystery check. Also, if I only go for 90 minutes because, you know, someone has to leave or something, or I need to stop, so be it. But until then, I don't want to do illegal then, because the box cutters are not an actual weapon. But we'll see. Yeah, Commoner should be the Commoner should be the last backstory you theoretically unlock. Now, you can unlock other backstories before, I think. Again, it's been a long time since I've unlocked everything. But okay, if you don't know what Commoner is, then you haven't unlocked all the backstories. But Commoner should be the last one on the second row to the bottom left. But yeah. Yeah, my nose. But anywho, yeah, it's a whole process of unlocking backstories. Basically, until you've unlocked everything but the last character, Kana, we'll just say Kana, there's a chance you may have not, because I think some of the backstories are actually unlocked behind doing something else, but I swear, most of them are a chain into themselves. So when you unlock, say, 7th Curse, you finish a run, and then you unlock Ill-Fated. When you finish Ill-Fated, you unlock something else after that, so on and so forth. So this is Akamanto painting Vigil Robin. Okay, well, we'll do scissors now. And we'll see what backstory we're on. If we grab the scissor, because this character has high knowledge, we want a knowledge weapon. Now, unfortunately, we're on Timeline B. But we'll use the box cutters for now, because they'll provide us an immediate boost to things. Up until Fatalist, thought I had all of them. Yeah, I think Fatalist is near one of the last ones, I want to say. If not, the second to last one. So yeah. And yeah, that's a thing that happens too frequently. Yeah, on Harbinger, Mimi's always in low reason spike. Yeah, that'll happen on some characters that start with lower max stamina or max reason. That if you're on Scars, they're always going to have the max stamina or the low stamina, low reason graphic. But hey. Also, I need to do a thing. Because it's dark in this place that I'm recording in. So yeah. Now, what I'm saying being said, is this a one turn? It's barely not a one turn. I think. Can I at least go for a kick? I cannot. I can. So if we hit this, we should be good. Okay, we're good. But yeah, 3 strength, 4 dexterity. Again, having low strength really, really hurts a character normally. But well, in my mind, this character has 4 strength on non-Harbinger difficulties, which is fine. But unfortunately, also, I forgot my ritual. Okay, we'll go for 5 claps. Character and ward like to have 2 charisma, can't talk to someone, say yeah. So, and yeah, 2, I think you should make your character, if you have a character at all, if for anyone making a character, the lowest the stat should be is 2, because otherwise you die in Harbinger. But that's not hard to fix. Just know that, technically you'd be buffing your own character if you... nice luck check, by the way. If you have to increase the stat because you die on Harbinger. But anywho. Theoretically, we can fight this. We have a broken box cutter now, so that might still be better for us, because the wind bat definitely is not as reliable. But, if I'm fighting this enemy, it is reliable. So you know what? We'll do it. Because we do at least 4 damage on a Sever, and we only take 2 reason. If the school is at a high threat level, I might as well have taken this fight. And this character has enough luck anyway, so I can sniff this corpse dust, because that's literally apparently what you do. And you move on. But we're going to clap 5 times and see what happens. Oh yeah, so Reign of Spider, yeah. Reign of Spiders, I believe, is the one that gets you the commoner backstory. And that's the one people usually, kind of raise a hubbub about, because Yashiro, they realize how good or bad Yashiro can be, so as we get clap, clap, bow as our ritual. Yeah. Reign of Spiders. Again, I'm not saying Yashiro's I don't think any character in World of Horror is absolutely bad. Save for maybe Hayana, but she's technically not a vanilla character, while she is a vanilla character. It's... you objectively can place characters above or lower in, say, a tier list. I keep saying tier list because that's the... I guess that's the easiest way to explain things. But, anywho. I think we go into Akamanto here. I could also grab a meat cleaver. Yeah, well, let's grab a meat cleaver. Even though we have 4 strength, we're just going to be building into strength from now on, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Now, if I were on random item stats, maybe it'd be better. Oh yeah, and then yeah, if you need to unlock Yashiro, unlock... I don't think even on my Harbinger horror series, I have yet to unlock... I have not unlocked Yashiro yet, so... yeah. So you need Yashiro to do Reign of Spiders, but to unlock Yashiro, I completely forgot how to do that as well. But, hey. 3 claps and a bow. And away we go. So, I guess, if nothing else, I'll have a guaranteed video for tomorrow if I don't do the 3rd character for the stream. Which, thankfully, gives me some leeway, because usually I use a well, as of recently, I've been using placeholders, so... hey, we'll see what happens. When it wasn't fixed, Faith, 3, and spam Reign of Spiders 5 to 6 in a row. Yeah, drink the blood, that's... is that Yashiro? That sounds like an achievement that unlocks Yashiro, and that's through the goblet, right? I think that's the goblet achievement. Again, now we're just testing my own knowledge, but... 65... yeah. Yeah. Do I want to do this? I could just run. I do have the Doom to run, but... 610, I mean, if I throw everything I have, except for the empty bottle, I think we get out. Because the box cutter also does 1 damage. And this is mainly because I can't brace. Bracing adds a whole flexibility of options on Harbinger. It's that important to have at least 5-ish strength. Unless you're using the monkey wrench. With the monkey wrench, you'd have 4 strength, but still, that's a threshold to break, I think. I think maybe... I swear 5 is another threshold for monkey wrench as well. But anywho. If that were the envelope, I might have considered opening it, but... Also, there would be more experience if I fought the guests, but again, I don't normally like trading Doom for the guests at this point in time, so... Yeah. And yeah, rerolling mystery, if for some weird pride reason of doing things without rerolling, you can do the... Oh my goodness. Hold on. Funny enough, I might fill this bottle with blood, because I don't want to lose anything. No, who am I kidding? I'm just gonna... trade anyway. We're at the end of the mystery. But, yeah, reroll mysteries if you need to unlock things. There's no shame in it, because who's really going to judge you? I'm not going to judge you. That's for sure. Fast learner. Oh, buddy boy. You know, maybe it's funny enough, it's a good thing that we don't have a strength perk, because that's... I'm not going to say, well, anywho. Maybe Panstaz knew. Maybe Panstaz knew that having a general strength perk was not for the best. But anywho, we can finally use our police station now. And lo and behold, school was at max threat level, but... Hey. So the tiny key comes from Timeline A arms normally. You could just use a custom character and give them the tiny key or 2 tiny keys, but normally it comes from Timeline A arms doing the side quest. You'll get the tiny key at the end of the mystery. And then you just have to grind. If you're going for the goblet, you grind school instigations until you run into the trophy case event. I did an event of the day. If you look up event of the day, I'll show you. It shows you how to get the tiny key and the goblet. So, funny enough, I have a video prepared for you. In fact, for the sake, I'm on my own channel. Why can't I self-promote myself? But let me do this something. And you're on Switch too, but the same, I think the same rule apply, right? The same thing applies. So let me do this. Because I should be... Oh, you know what? Oh, no! I have to do this. Help. So, let me see if I'm doing this correctly. If I can't put links to my own channel, yeah. But for anyone else, just in case, because this is relevant for me speaking. So this is for people in the future. This is not just... I'm not saying this because, oh, you didn't do it. I'm just doing this so... There's a link. There should be a link in the chat for those watching in the future, in case you're interested. Of the event in question, but that also gives you the how to get the goblet and the tiny key. But anywho, moving onward. So let's see. It's nice that I have a bottle of water and a lump of flesh. Perception, please. Thank you. Even though that doesn't give you a lot of experience, I'll take anything I get. We're in Akamanto right now, right? Yeah, we're in Akamanto, so I actually do need to rest before the end here. But I'll know when the end is, because I remember the vanity text before the end of the mystery. Now, I could die with 3 stamina here. Thankfully, I didn't. And let's actually rest a few times. Because we're on Akamanto... Now, that's unfortunate that I think that's fetid fumes, right? I got fetid fumes immediately. Oh, goodness. Well, now I have to visit the tree for stamina. So be it. I'm going to be preparing my attacks regardless, but hey. Yeah, it's a shame I don't have anything I can use, but... Why did the stream go to 144p? Why did the stream go 144p? Oh, you know why the stream was at 144p? Because I am not on the Ethernet cable. Yes, I'm currently playing World of War on a laptop. So unfortunately... I am uploading the stream on wireless. That is why my stream quality may be fluctuating. Now, unfortunately, I also just took a bunch of damage here, so I might need to use the lump of flesh. But until then, I mean, I'm still streaming just fine. It's unfortunate that... You know what? Actually, let me check this. Because I'm not working with bad internet, obviously. Otherwise, this stream would actually be going offline from time to time. But Not much I can do about that because I'm looking at my thing. So it's definitely it definitely might be something on my end, but from what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem so bad. But again, I'm not the only source of information. So if someone else is seeing something, the stream quality dip, yeah. Also, that was during the time I was doing things in the background, so that might have been why the quality dipped as well. But anywho. This is not enough. 15 HP's worth of damage. I would have to throw something, but I don't want to. I would have to, because otherwise I die. I could eat the lump of flesh. Okay, fine. Cursed signs. I'm not planning to cast spells anyway. The unfortunate part of this is that what this means is that now I'm just taking damage for no reason. But you know what? It's not so bad. So we're going to brace 3 times. We're going to brace at least 2 times and see where we get, but I don't think I get anything more. Unless I'm willing to gamble, but I'm not. 70%, you know what? I'm willing to gamble. It's the one gamble I'll do. But otherwise, I think... Oh, I lost Bath as well. Okay, now this is just a really bad RNG run, but... Hey... Yeah, you need the right otherworldly event because you need Upper Kingdom. But after you keep re-rolling, you should eventually get it. Yeah, and it appears like you got it. So hey, everything worked out. Now, what's not going to work out is me walking into painting here, but... Boy, is it not going to be fun. So, the end goal of this run is to reach the lighthouse. Because I don't have bath and I don't really have rests. But, the moment I reach the lighthouse, we survive, so... I think, are you forced to do World of Horror? Otherwise, if you have the free choice, 7th Curse isn't bad because Yashiro has a perk that requires him to have no allies. So, you could do that. Otherwise, if you want to be completely safe, I say World of Horror Backstory. 7th Curse is the player-centered backstory-ish, but whatever you're most comfortable with is obviously the choice to pick. So yeah, otherwise, you know what I could do? Yeah, let's actually do this. So, hello, I'm going around and grabbing a thing because I don't have my Ethernet cable plugged in. That would kind of help with the stream, wouldn't it? On top of other things. I'm also testing out something new with this setup, but... Oh, that might actually not be good because the Ethernet cable I'm working with is also missing something. So let's see what happens when I do this. So, let's indeed disconnect. So I see it's reconnecting now, it's reconnecting now, it's reconnecting now. Let's see, because I'm looking at the stream, and I'm deciding whether or not it is actually connected back. But it seems like it's reconnected. Now, the unfortunate part is what happens if it drops connection again, but that should happen if my Ethernet cable gives out. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, I don't know if that means everything's okay, but if you can hear me, hey. Unless you heard something that you weren't supposed to hear, even though I don't think I did anything really weird, so... Hey. And now we'll do this, and do this. 85%. Again, if it drops again, it's because my Ethernet cable comes loose, because the Ethernet cable I'm using right now is missing a pin. But I think that's because of the current... of the laptop I'm streaming on. Because the laptop I'm streaming on seems to eat Ethernet cable's pins up. I don't know how that happens, but it does. So, basically, thank goodness World of Horror is a point-and-click game so that I'm not typing on the keyboard and nothing really strange is happening. But if I miss a 95% into a 95%, I'm going to be very sad. No, man. Well, I have the Doom to spare, but that was really bad luck. But anywho, moving on. So let's grab a light source and move on with our lives. Well, no, my life is already a lot of... Yeah, well, my life is already a bad RNG, so... Yeah, I could equip the Demon Mask. That would be interesting. You know what? Why not? Because we don't need the flashlight to be equipped. So yeah. Prepare for bath. Yeah, prepare for bath. Really? Why does that happen? Are you serious? I didn't heal any. I might as well. This is okay. Now I know because I even had hot bath, but I guess now we're never going to pick any other decision other than the middle one ever again. But with hot bath, at least I can rest normally again. I have to get out of this encounter, or this mystery and encounter, but we run from this. And yeah, after this encounter, or after that mystery, oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. We are going to be resting for a while. So, we rest about four or five times. But really just 3 times, because we have the Demon Mask equipped, I forgot. But yeah. Moving on. So yeah, also, it helps that I've plugged myself into an Ethernet cable again, finally. I normally have an Ethernet cable plugged in anyway. I just forgot because, again, I'm working with a different setup. So sometimes I'm plugging in the Ethernet, because obviously... You know, funny enough, I don't know computers as much as I should. Because what I'm trying to say is that I haven't actually recorded very often on an actual computer. Funny enough to say. Also, we have deduction, so we can do this. And then grab a pack of cigarettes. But I think the last time I've actually streamed on a computer setup was when I played... I'm just going to say it outright. It was when I played Contai Collection, or streamed Contai Collection. And in fact, I don't know if you can still find videos of that on my Twitch channel, but I think I still have... I mean, maybe I've privated them, but yeah, that was a time. And I think that's funny enough, even though I've talked about being a complete free-to-play, and I didn't really use a lot of money, but Contai Collection was also the only game that I actually spent money in. And the only reason I had to spend money in... Well, I didn't have to. Well, actually, you had to, right? Because if you kept collecting ships through the events, as I talked about Contai Collect... We're cruising through. Deduction does a heck of a lot for you, basically. But... yeah, it is... Contai Collection was the only one I spent money on to increase the amount of, basically, characters I could get. But I had to, because I did events and I got... I think at the time I stopped, I picked up Iowa and Warspite. Yeah, so, anywho. You know, self-therapy would be nice. I do have a spell to forget, but I'm more worried about... No, we just pick up... We pick up this. Who am I kidding? No bath, so just move on. But yeah, if nothing else, the box cutters, this does give you a little boost in the very beginning. So say if you need to get through the beginning of Vigil to pick up this meat cleaver, yeah, it helps out. And then the stat spread isn't completely bad, so it works out as well. And then the Lighthouse having 8 to 9 knowledge, or high knowledge to start out with, does help out immensely as well. So, yeah. But yeah, funny enough, yeah, no Akamanto reroll. Funny enough, I like Akamanto non-ending A lot now, because it's a very important thing that Akamanto on non-ending A is a human-type enemy, which allows you to handcuff Akamanto on top of using insta-kill spells or other things, benefits from certain perks. Not that there aren't perks that increase damage if they're Eldritch encounters, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. So I think we did Vigil next, because I needed a weapon immediately. But I took Scissors because this character starts with Deduction. But as we get into Zectast, having 8 to 9 knowledge is no longer going to be as feasible, but it'll depend. It'll depend. So away we go. So into a Zectast run I go. So random backstory. One more time for giggles, we'll set item statistics to random. And you know what? Funny enough, I think this will be the last run of the stream as we get to Zectast, Cult, character exclusive, random item, Aria. But so I'll do it as a punishment because I started the stream late. So I mean, I've done the bare minimum, which is an hour of stream. But I think tomorrow, if I don't come up with another video, it'll be the 3rd character. So sorry about that. I started the stream late, but that was because of reasons, and I can't say what they are. I mean, I'm not saying what they are, but, you know, second, strength, knowledge, light, Takshisan, but the most important thing is we're taking 6 stamina damage, because with Zectast, boy, are we eating it. We only have 3 ZST to make up for, but still, that does mean I can't put stats elsewhere, unless Zektask graces me with a Zektask event, which is not likely to happen, as you saw throughout the entire last Zektask run we did. We did not run into a single Zektask event. Zektask? Well, how should I pronounce that? Anywho, Armed Sailors Bulletin Akamanto Festival. If you get the Spiral Hood, that would be nice, but first I want to increase my strength some... So a reason not to take Bulletin immediately would be to... Yeah, this is going to be the last run of the stream. I'm just going to announce that. 98% chance. So the reason not to take Bulletin is because these other mysteries are technically shorter. Shorter, Doom-wise, on average. Which means that when you do Bulletin, and with the character with Deduction, I level up slower, theoretically speaking, on average, than if I were to say take Festival immediately. The problem with me taking Festival immediately is that if we are on Timeline B, it's a very specific case here because the Spiral Hood really helps this character out on Zektask. But yeah. So Yashiro starts out with extra max stamina and reason. So that's why you may or may not have more max stamina and reason. It also depends on your fate level. Fate level will affect your max stamina and reason as well, but we're going to take Festival immediately because of what I just said. Now, this is technically a waste of healing, but hey. So we'll start enjoying the festival. Stamina at the end of every mystery is kind of nice. Yeah, you know what? We'll take him, and if we find someone else, we'll take them as well, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Yashiro initially starts out with more max stamina and reason, which is why I think the same thing will happen on Scars and maybe Eldritch Parasite, but yeah. But then if you go negative faith, in my opinion, you have not been the most efficient in your encounters. There are some encounters that just will put you negative at a loss initially, but as you complete mysteries and usually if you're being efficient with Yashiro, your faith will stay above 5-ish. So, but we'll see. Again, there are some situations in which you just can't help it, and you will go negative at some points, but a lot of the time, on average, especially for Yashiro mains, your faith will be at positive, unless you're purposely trying to leave them negative, but in my opinion, I don't think that's usually a great thing to do. So the real question is, will I get Quick Thinking? Because if I get Quick Thinking, or a Zektask event, really, we will be able to increase our strength to 5. But we're going to keep increasing our strength regardless, so hey, as we get Timeline A Festival. Yeah, you know what? In fear of roads closed, I'm going to take Bulletin now. And maybe we level up. Maybe we'll level up. That's all I'm going to say. I think we can get out now, right? No, we cannot. Spider bite, no doctor. Yeah. That's, I think, -1 dexterity, -1 perception for the infected wound. I can't remember at the moment. This is really painful, by the way. Funny enough, I think we do cast Absorb here. A very, very specific case of having to cast Absorb because I can't brace, funny enough. I forgot my mysteries again. Oh boy. We're going to set police station and the police patrols to downtown for now. But we'll see what happens. I need to visit the forest twice regardless. Yeah, and especially if you have a full run to go through, just assume you're going to get an infected wound. I think that you can treat as well, but if you don't have the doctor, obviously it's not better. And I think the bite is minor, infected wound is major, question mark? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have information in front of me. Hey, first aid is really nice, though. But quick thinking is nicer because of Zektask reasons. Now, I could finish this run under 84% Doom, but I like having the leeway. And now we don't need to make up any more stats. So away we go. So let us see what happens when I do the thing. Also, I think I messed up. Yeah, I did. So there's something I should have done earlier. I think we're fine now. Yeah, so that's why I normally like to take care of bites immediately, especially if you're on Zektas, but receiving -1 dexterity, -1 perception is not great. So yeah, tell me I don't have a hospital mystery, because I'm just going to do this. And yeah, 5 funds. Ooh, as I get close to dying here. Ancestral strength would be nice, but we need a rest instead for the moment. If I had those 5 funds and I had the vending machine, I would go buy a pack of cigarettes. But you can do you, because I've seen a lot of people buy things in the middle of a run. Even though that's not very frequent, usually you're not buying items in the middle of a run. But if you do, it allows you to... I've seen people use a lot of items to great success. Now, you know what's not great for my success? Relying on a coin flip, but hey. Hopefully that's the only thing I do. We now need another item, but for the moment, maybe we're okay. I'm gonna witch tree, by the way, because I need another weapon. Flashbacks is not great. I did not want to see that. We can actually get rid of this, but nonetheless, that was not great to see. So, as I lose 1 in every stat, we can grab a meat cleaver now, thankfully, because old gods forbid I actually grab a hunting rifle, which I wouldn't even be able to buy, but, you know. I could also sell this wine bottle, but I'd rather run into out of funds at this point and trade stamina. Don't I have first aid? Oh, I do not have first aid. That's right. I had to take quick thinking. Oh, I didn't have to, but I took quick thinking. So yeah. And let us do some things while we're waiting for this bulletin to interact with us. And let me actually just... Yeah. Let's cheat with chat for a moment, even though this is not really cheating, but we have a wine bottle, so hey, let's drink it. That way we can immediately do that. That's very, not specific tech, but that's something that you just do for optimization. Because you get the hangover status effect. For those who don't know, hangover reduces all of your stats by 1, but it goes away at the end of a mystery, so therefore you should drink your wine bottle at the end of a mystery if you need to recover reason. For any reason. But no, that's because you reminded me to drink it, so... Why is your max reason 8 with 9 faith? If you have... I mean, all I can think of is maybe you have curses that are stacking. But anywho, let's grab funds here while we can. Hey, and we can finally take first aid. We can also take self-therapy. That wouldn't be a bad decision. In fact, nah, because I'm going to be fighting things, I think I'm just going to take first aid. But anywho. Yeah, you might have stacking effects of... I don't know, I can't think of one status effect off the top of my head. But basically, statuses, mainly curses that are decreasing your max reason, on top of having things equipped that are decreasing your max reason, like the Gruesome Totem, although Gruesome Totem normally works out in your favor, so yeah. -2 all here. If I hit both, no I don't. I actually just want to run from this. And away I go. Let's take reason damage here, actually, because we have Akamanto in our face. Yeah, I think we had a bit more school investigations, but we're still investigating downtown just as much, so either way, the police patrols are putting in work. We could buy a coffee, though, because I don't like sitting at 2 funds and then getting pickpocketed. But realistically speaking, let us... Did I forget to fill my empty bottle, by the way? I feel like I did, but anywho. Let's fight like gentlemen. So, I can actually brace into something. It's not going to be the best, but it's better than eating -3 all. And if Akamanto does a special attack, hey, we want to brace anyway. So without further ado, I'm just going to be safe and do this again. That way I can just... Never mind, I missed, but... I think I still get out, right? Yeah. So with the power of handcuff tech, And being on Hunted by the Cult does help out decrease Doom for Zectast reasons, so... On top of that, though, having Akamanto at all, even though Akamanto does a lot of stamina damage, just by nature of the mystery, I think it's normally better to have Akamanto in your run, funny enough. Mainly because of handcuffs, let's just admit it. Because handcuffs exist in this game, and you can do handcuff tech, Akamanto is a lot more feasible. Without handcuff tech, whether because it's hard for, say, a player to do it, or otherwise, it's... Yeah, Akamanto does hurt a lot. Why did he do 6 damage? Because Akamanto does have a special attack, I'm pretty sure. If that's Akamanto, both versions have a special attack, which does double damage. So, you need to brace. I forgot what the telltale sign is for human Akamanto, but essentially, bracing is not a bad idea for boss encounters anyway. Unless you're getting a bit more out of your first turn, usually. But anywho. Yeah, I don't know. In that case, I don't know. Just stuff. But yeah, Reign of Spiders is not... I know that people don't like Reign of Spiders, and yeah, people like Yashiro as a character, but gameplay-wise, there's just only so much you can do for that guy. Then he would be lowest 3 in my tier list, objectively speaking, off the top of my head. We run from this as well, because For Reason is a lot of damage to take. So yeah. Basically, when we reach the lighthouse, we win as this character. That's the only thing. Now, that being said, the main reason for that is because... Can I sell this for anything? No. Is because I'm just actually going to prepare here, but... We did run into a lot of Zectast events, so thankfully... I didn't know I was going to pick that up. Please tell me I'm not on Timeline B, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? We're not on Timeline B. We're on Timeline A, so everything's fine. Huh, I don't know then. And the enemy that it sounds like you are fighting does not have a special attack, but maybe it does. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure in that situation then. Because usually you take double damage because of a special attack. I mean, I doubt this is the case, but if you have like 3 Blood Frenzy, then you take a lot more damage, but I mean, I trust you enough. I trust the player enough to realize when they're in a situation where that would happen. So, but yeah. So now we're in Sailors. We can throw away the energy drink and the box cutters to avoid any Timeline B shenanigans, which we are on. Yeah, Tuta-chan maybe Tuta-chan does have a special attack. I don't often pay attention because I think most of the time, if I'm not bracing, because I think in my cases, Tuta-chan either does 3 damage or I 2-turn Tuta-chan, so I'll never see it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, so something else must have happened. Or it's a bug, but... Oh, if you're on the Switch version... Wait, you said you were on the Switch version, right? The Switch version may not have patched certain things out. I'm pretty sure that was a bug that affected us after 1.0, but was fixed in 1.01, where certain enemies, for some reason, are specifically dealing double stamina damage, and I forgot what... I remembered what the trigger was, but it's been patched in the PC, Steam version, things like that. It's been patched in the PC version, so I completely forgot. But I know that that's a thing. I forgot... Does anyone remember how that happens? I forgot. I know there was something very specific that may cause that, unless I'm misremembering. But either way, yeah, it's a bug, so... Yeah, and lo and behold, we talked about how patches need to come out for consoles. So if everything... And funny, didn't a patch just come out for mainly... I think it was mainly for the PS4, so never mind that. But nonetheless, yeah, it's not great. So if you guys just got a console patch to fix saves, now another patch needs to come out for that bug specifically, which... Again, it's kind of... I see some people just saying, oh, get the PC version, but I sympathize with people who want to just get it for whatever they have, whether that's console or PC, Switch, Xbox, PS4, so on and so forth, because... sometimes you don't have a choice. So there's not much you can do. Can I level up though, by the way, game? That's another weird bug, but it doesn't really affect you, as opposed to a thing. But it could be that. Otherwise, yeah, Tooth of Chance should not have any special attack. Second, strength, knowledge, light, and maybe Takushi-san. I think I can just walk up this lighthouse, right? Yeah, 13 stamina, 10 reason. There's no reason I can't. But anywho. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, even without that, normally the player would recognize if something really weird were to cause them to take double or a lot more damage, so I don't remember any of these. It was definitely not arms, but I can walk up this lighthouse, so yeah. But without further ado, just another quick review of this character. The box cutters gives you a very good quick burn start, and if that results in you, say, getting the cursed scissors or getting enough funds to get weapons without spending too much, then everything is fine. But without further ado, the stat spread is also not bad for Zectast mainly, but I got Zectast event, so it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, I mean, it's an okay character, gameplay-wise, very good for immersion anyway, so hey, there's that. And yeah, remember an enemy once did 12 damage? Yeah. That's not outside the realm of easy. It's not often to happen, but that can also happen as well. Especially if you're taking in -3 all doubled into account, then technically that's 12, but yeah. Yeah, Mizuki 7th Curse Harbinger. Hey, get used to it, especially if you eventually want to do the Harbinger challenge version of Mizuki's challenge, but I mean, it's already bad enough. Mizuki is obviously below average without running allies. If any point, you don't even need to run ally attack. The fact that Mizuki starts with an ally and has high charisma can result in good things, even if you're working with weapons. But without further ado, that should be near the end of this stream. I know there's a third character here, but I think I'll save that for at least tomorrow, because I'll just punish myself with the late stream start. I've gone for at least an hour, so that's already good enough. I've nearly gone an hour, 30 minutes. But anywho, if you have anything to say, any questions, please let me know now. I'll spend the next minute or so kind of listening, somewhat, as I see that my OBS is complaining about things, and I've dropped a lot of frames, obviously, because I was doing a thing, but otherwise, yeah, this should be near the end of the stream. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Memberships are open for $2.99 USD for basically one tier. I haven't really thought of any other tiers, but I don't think I deserve that much without what I am doing on this channel right now. So if there are any benefits on top of those that I have not yet put out, I'll probably just add them to that tier, or just let you know that I'm doing things with members specifically. But without further ado, yeah, it seems like my stream is dying at the moment, so let me just do this really quick. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching now or in the future. If you have any ideas, let me know. Otherwise, that should be the end of the stream, and I need to eventually reorganize my OBS because it's hard for me to find my end screen for some reason. But yeah, not much else to say. I think tomorrow is going to be no stream, just a video. But after that, maybe I'll announce if I do a stream on Monday to make up for it, because yeah, I just have to take care of stuff. But without further ado, if you see another game come out, it's going to be restricted to 18+, or whatever is higher. I'll put all kinds of disclaimers, but that will be that. So without further ado, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and yeah, that'll be it. I'll do more World of Horror stuff if I have to do Event of the Day. That'll come out. Otherwise, I'll let you know. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!